Shalom. First and foremost, I want to start off by giving all praises to the Heavenly Father, Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rachahakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders at Great Millstone who rule well. And as always, we give peace and salutations unto the elect. All right, starting with the Tabernacle of David. All right, the 144,000 men. All right, the priest after the order of Malak Tazadak. All right, who will be heirs in rulership. Okay, and setting up the government directly under the Messiah, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ. All right, that's what's getting ready to happen. All right, also peace and salutation to the large multitude, the rest of the men, women, and children whom the Lord will have mercy on at the time of the Lord's second coming. All right, and that's what you see happening on the earth, is that the mind frame of men are changing. And that's because, the Messiah himself, represents true manhood. And as this message has been preached on the internet going back to 2007, you have various different camps, but the apostles and elders came on and, pretty much that spirit of manhood through this word going out has, spread, even to those who don't believe wholeheartedly in what we teach. All right, that spirit of manhood, and from that point on, from 2007 until today, you have various channels where men are promoting manhood. Have the whole MGTOW. Now, when we first got on YouTube, there wasn't many men who were pushing that. You see, now, right after we started to preach this word, you had videos like, you could look up the video where the apostles were chanting, that this woman was a particular slut. Everybody was losing their damn mind over the things that we were saying, but now that's the common, conversation amongst men. Men are coming back unto their own. Men are calling out, the behavior of these women who went unchecked, within the system of Edomite supremacy. One thing that is clear, is that it's not that women didn't catch hell, but, in our whole downfall, but the way that they've caught hell is by being put in a position that is destructive to them, and, within the system of white supremacy, they've been given a pass, all right, and a position of authority over, the men, over our nation. And if you look over the past 50 years, it's just went to shits because we lack order. All right. But with this word going out, you're noticing that more and more men are coming back, all right, to that manly, mind frame. And that's where you get your Kevin Samuels, and there's various different ones. And they all watch us, more. A lot of them won't admit it. I know the brother Black Ram. I don't know where he's at now, but I know he believes in this truth. You know what I'm saying? And, these brothers are on the internet, and pretty much they're going in, man. And you have men, coming into their purpose, coming into their, getting out of that simp-like mind state. And I was watching this video by GMS on air. When Esau go down, so does Eve. That's the other Ayathan. Make sure you subscribe to his page and be edified. And then you have the brother Amawan Gabar, the beloved brother, GMS Awakening 144 Da End. All right, he did a video, the Red Pill Community don't have the 100% truth, okay? And to get the full title, and all women will find out what a true high value male is. And make sure you subscribe to that page and constantly be edified. And I have to finish this one up, but ultimately in these videos, they're just going in on this vibe that's out. You can clearly see that there's a vibe where men are fighting back, because within the system of Edomite supremacy, one thing you see and notice is that men We're at the bottom, as the scripture said, the Lord would do a new thing in the earth. All right, Jeremiah 31. And that mindset all starts with this word, because true manhood is taught out of the scriptures. And as the scriptures say, the Messiah was crucified here. One of the main things that was crucified here was this whole, the image of men. All right, when you get the book, let's see here, of Matthew, the 3rd chapter and the 27th verse, it says, "No man can enter into a strong man's house and spoil his goods except he first bind the strong man, then will he spoil his house." And we've been binded physically, mentally, as men, to the point where the enemy was able to spoil the goods. What are the goods of the strong man's house? His family. All right, starting with his woman. He turned us against one another. All right, but ultimately this is a curse that goes back to the garden. Now, when you go to the garden real quick in Genesis, the 3rd chapter, shout out to the beloved brother Micah Allah. He put us on this. When you get Genesis, the 3rd chapter, and he's speaking to the woman for her sin, because in the garden, it was Eve who sinned by taking on the serpent's philosophy and then taking it to Adam. You see? And that's the thing with the scriptures, both men and women are called out. You see, but in this world, women have been put on such a high pedestal that to call them out, you pretty much making yourself a prey. Well, now that's the common theme. And why is that? All right, because as the elder Ayathan said, as Esau falls, so does that position and role that he gave Eve in a garden go away. And you can see clearly that women are noticing that. And you have the simp men, crying after them, trying to comfort them. All right, but ultimately that power and that, that mentality is being attacked and stripped away. You see, as Esau falls, the wicked ways and institutions and all of that, the mindset that he's pushed out there, the wine, because it's all sin and wickedness, because he's the man of sin. You see, and our people have taken on these ideologies and ways of life and wore them as with a badge of honor, especially, the men and the women. The men are all messed up in the head and they want to be thugs. They want to be women. The women want to be men. The women are boasting and bragging on how they don't need a man, listening to all of these women, and these women go home to a man like Beyonce. All my single women and all of this, all of that, but these women have husbands, but they're set up to promote a particular mindset to you women that has been destructive to our nation, and it's being called out. All right, and for you sisters who have repented and who are waking up, who are trying, you shouldn't be offended by these things. Because when we get on men, nobody has a problem. But as soon as the woman gets got on, which I'm not going to make this video all about, the women. And, I try to stay away from those videos, but I wanted to respond. Going back to the garden, though, Genesis 3:16, unto the woman he said, I will greatly multiply thy sorrow and thy conception. All right. Because, it's supposed to be that women weren't supposed to have childbirth and child pain. But going back to Eve's action, all women have to undergo that. It says, in sorrow shalt thou bring forth children, and thy desire shall be to thy husband, and he shall rule over thee. Now, when you get this in the NLT, it says, then said he to the woman, I will sharpen the pain of your pregnancy, and in pain, all right, you will give birth, and you will desire to control your husband, but he will rule over you. You see, ultimately, this will be a curse that has destroyed not only the the Israelites, but the world. Women, being in this destructive position. Now, when you look at, these times, it all goes back to this ordeal called the feminist movement. And at the forefront of that were the Rockefellers. When you look at who funded that, who funded, Gloria Steinem, which was a Mo. She wasn't even into men, but led a rebellion in March against family structure. You know, it says, and this is a good article. I'm not going to read it all, but I'm going to read a few excerpts. It says, feminism is an excellent example of how the Rockefeller mega cartel uses the awesome power of mass media to control society. Okay, in short, in 40 years, basically many women have lost touch with their natural loving instincts. Consequently, the family is in disarray, sexual depravity is rampant, and birth rates have plummeted. And if you look at the state of men and women, they're both miserable. Relationships are all jacked up because you can't run a relationship based on any other principle but the order that the scriptures gave. That's the only way to life, and we're starting to figure that out. And see, the true high value men are those who are preaching Yahweh Bashim Yahushua. Now, these brothers have their lot. These brothers of the Red Pill community, they have their lot, and they do their thing. But, as you listen to some of them, as they talk about high value men and all of these various different things, it's all associated with, riches, a good job, the best colognes and stuff like that, which in this world, okay, but we're coming into a different time to where wisdom and knowledge is going to dictate, all right, your value. And your value comes from the spirit of Yahweh Bashim Yahushua. Now you can read that. Let's see here. See if we can get another excerpt out of here. So right here, modern Western culture is based on Freemasonry, which teaches that man and not God determines reality. See, and that's what the serpent came to Eve with in the garden. Basically, you don't have to live by these rules. You can be free. You can do what you want. You can do this. You can, and that sentiment has destroyed the family structure. Okay, it is a curse. Okay, modern Western culture is based on Freemasonry, which teaches that man and not God determines reality. Okay, naturally they need to overrule, all right, natural spirit law, yada yada, and to insert their own control. And that's what the powers that be have done. They've created a system of disorder, and from that they're able to take control. Okay, family structure is very, very important. See, and they know that. And all of the things that you see being established in the earth are anti-family, even BLM. Go to the BLM website and look at what they're really about. And they want to destroy the patriarchy, which is the man being the head, and insert the alphabets as leadership. Now, the scriptures, all right, tell us clearly that there is an order that we are to follow. Let's get that in 1 Corinthians, the 11th chapter. And the beauty of it is that this order is coming back anywhere it goes. All right. We understand, even watching these videos, a lot of you women who say you believe, you get mad at some of the things that we bring up, as men will be in control and the head in the kingdom of heaven. You see, but you're so focused on controlling your man and controlling the narrative and hanging on to this position that the serpent has given you, that you're getting ready to lose out. Okay? Because very, very dire times are coming. And it's going to require order of us, just as we, the men, all right, who are likened unto the bride of the Most High. The nation of Israel, starting with the men, is likened to what? The bride of the Most High, the elect, right? That's his bride. We had to come in order, all right, to the Most High through Yahushua. Okay, and then there's going to be another order, okay, of the men of the Lord who are under that order. You women are going to have to come under that order. Okay, and see, through propaganda and the serpent's doctrine, you look at that as hell no. See, here it is. We're getting ready to inherit the whole earth, to where we'll have room, islands, lands, riches beyond measure under Yahushua. And you women are so stuck knowing that a man will have multiple women in that time, you know, even you men, all right, you look at a man having multiple women and multiple children, you only view it from what you experienced through the serpent's way of life. So you can't see a situation where the man under Yahweh Shai is in control and having enough riches and things like that. And we're going to be kings and priests. So it's going to be a whole different mindset, a whole different mind frame. And the worries we have here won't even exist. But we see you all, you know, as I did a video in response to Elder Manat Zakba's video, but I didn't load it. You know, I didn't even load it. You know, it was a rolling in the spirit. But, you know, as I was listening and thought about it after, I was like, I'm not rolling it, but loading it. But the dude pretty much left a long ass comment saying in the kingdom we're gonna have one woman and it's gonna equal out. You know, it's all emotional. It's not based upon any truth. And I was like, you know what? The brothers did videos on it, you know, but I'm gonna do this video. 1 Corinthians 11:3. But I would have you know that the head of every man is Hamashiach. All right, and we had to come in order. We had to come under that order. We didn't come, all right, with you know, our expectations. So this is what I'm not gonna do. This is what you don't know. We came full wholeheartedly, and we made ourselves a fools. We out on the highways and the byways. So the head of every man is a Mashiach. All right, and the head of the woman is the man, and the head of a Mashiach is the Most High. That's the order. And that order leads to life. Okay, now in the kingdom of heaven, we're not going to have to deal with the curses and things like that. But one of the curses going, what we were reading in Genesis, you know, the Lord, he put it all on us, man. Jeremiah 31:22, it says, how long wilt thou go about, O thou backsliding daughter? And that's Israel going off, sinning. For the Lord have created a new thing in the earth. A woman shall compass a man. Okay, and a woman will be put in authority over the men, and we, the Israelite man, are the ones who deal with that the most. And you can see over the last 40 years, as this article is saying, even 50, you know, the last 40 to 50 years, women have been put, you know, at the forefront. Okay. It says they have noticed that people are different and malleable creatures who prefer to believe what they are told than to rely on their own perception. Thus, the media successfully promotes homo values that conflict with our natural instincts. Okay, now under the feminist movement, these are some of the ideologies that were instilled. Men can no longer be trusted, you know, using TV stations, music, unfaithful, you know, they call us, men are all unfaithful rats, abusive monsters, dishonest scumbags. All right. While women are victims, you know, innocent, you know, it says women are victims by virtue of their sex. You can read this. I'll put it in the post-production, Lord willing, in the description box. Women should be selfish. Liberation and narcissism have merged. And all you got to do is just go on social media. And, you know, these women are actually miserable, but their pride won't allow them to let go. The vintage shall fail, as the scriptures say. Rise up, ye women that are at ease. Okay? Sex is not reserved for love and marriage. Self-fulfillment lies in career success and not husband and family. And you hear that brother Kevin Samuels talk to the women about that a lot. Now, even in listening to some of these red pill, you know, brothers, there comes a point where we are like, no, you're going off. All right, you listen to some of them and they say some good things, but then, you know, ultimately they're not teaching, you know, the destruction of Babylon the Great. So a lot of what they teach lies in a future here, you know, and you can read this. Here's a good point. It says Luciferians promote rebellion because they are defying what is natural and healthy. All right, like their symbol, Lucifer, which they wish to play God. Now, when you go to Lucifer in the scriptures, all right, that's dealing with these elite, you know, the Illuminati, the illuminated ones, so to speak. And as we know, what does the scripture say about Babylon the Great? The rulers of that, you know. It says, Babylon have been a golden cup, Jeremiah 51:7, in the Lord's hand that made all the earth drunken. The nations have drunken of her wine, therefore the nations are mad. And see, one of the main things they do when they go amongst these nations is they pit the women against the men, all right, in places where, you know, you didn't have women marching and rebelling against their men and wanting to twerk. Well, now you have that. Amongst these Arab nations, the women don't drive in some of them. Well, Esau, once he gets there, you know, he takes over the news station. You know, he takes over, you know, the magazines, and months later, you have women who never were worried about not driving, marching to drive. And that's just one of millions of ways that he goes amongst these nations and spews this wine. You know, Babylon had been a golden cup in the Lord's hands that made all the earth drunken. And in that cup is wickedness, man. Rebellion against natural order, natural life, man. You see, there is a way that the Heavenly Father intends on humanity to be ran, and that's going to be done and issued forth under his son through the 144,000 as well. And we're going to issue forth the law, and all Israel will be righteous, and all nations will look to us on how to be men, all right, how to be women, and how a nation should function. We've lost our way here in Babylon the Great, being fed this serpent's doctrine. And we're finding out that that wasn't the way. Look at our nation, all right, in the last 40 to 50 years as the woman has been placed at the head. Sirach 3:9 says, for the blessing of the father establisheth the houses of children. See, when a man is in his natural order and in his right mind, he establishes, all right, a legacy, all right, and a woman coming up under that order. That's what Adam and Eve were to represent. You had a man who was given the breath of life, the ways of understanding, and then he was given a woman which was supposed to be a helpmeet. She wasn't supposed to be there to try to rule over him and control what he did and this and that. No, she was supposed to be a helpmeet to do what? Forward the legacy of the Father. All right. Thus you had the sons of God, you know, through Abel, but then through Seth, because Abel was slew by Cain's wicked ass. You see? But that, you know, the Eve coming under that order, she learned the ways of righteousness and how the Most High would want things done. And she basically, through her children, starting with Seth, you know, nourished, all right, the men in the way of righteousness through passing down the father's legacy. And that's how it's supposed to be. Women are to pass down the legacy of the father to the children. They are the first teachers. So women have a very, very important role. But in this system, as you can read in this article, women have been re-engineered and have taken on to this whole independent, I don't need this, into mind frame, to where now you just have a bunch of men, you know, doing videos and like, no, enough is enough. You know, this is a mess. You know, men now have standards. Men are coming back to that manly state. And it starts with the men of the Lord at the end of the day. Wisdom of Solomon 5:1. Then shall the righteous man stand in great boldness before the face of such as have afflicted him and made no account of his labors. These are the real high value men. Because one of the things Kevin Samuel liked to speak on is high value men. Well, a true high value man starts with those who fear Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. And see, we're standing in great boldness because it's one thing to call out an issue. And yes, the way that women are is an issue, but what is the solution? What's the end all be all? What's next? So yeah, these brothers have their lot, and it's, hey, you know, we like watching it. We know they watch us, you know, but there comes a point where it's like, okay, now what? Well, the end game is what the scriptures say. All right, that ultimately the Lord is going to break that whole mindset and that wicked, you know, way of being. He's going to break it up, and it starts with this word going out. That's why you see this large increase in men starting these channels to promote manhood and coming back into your own and being on your purpose and not following after these women and having your nose wide open and, choosing, how to choose the right, type of situation for yourself, and to be a man, But we're still in a system of Edomite supremacy, so those ways really don't fully work. All right. But you can work on your mindset, and ultimately things will change for you. And that's what's happening. But it starts ultimately with this word going out. The righteous man is standing in great boldness before the face of such as have afflicted him. It made no account of his labors. And that's not only the Edomite and the heathen, it's our women. The reason that women, look down on us is because of what we are painted as in the system of white supremacy. So they walk by us as we're out preaching. They make no account of our labors. They call us stupid. They say, but you notice one thing, a remnant of them are starting to notice like, damn, this is the winning team. And they're starting to listen through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Yahushua. They're returning. They're like, damn, they're right. You see? So call halal Yahweh Shem Yahushua for that. But there's going to be a large amount that ain't going to get it. And that ultimately are going to fall under, that judgment, man. You see? Because a lot is getting ready to happen. So the righteous man is standing in great boldness. And when they see it, they shall be troubled with terrible fear. Okay? So, you notice the first thing that when they attack us, they try to, come against our position with women and all of these things. But all of these things are addressed in the Holy Scriptures. Both men and women, we said this at camp the other day, are addressed in the Scriptures. All right? And we can go to various scriptures, but I'm going to get through this. It says, and they shall be amazed at the strangeness of his salvation, so far beyond all that they look for. And that starts with the men of the Lord. All right? The men of the Lord, First Corinthians 1:26, for you see your calling brethren, how that not many wise men after the flesh, not many mighty, and not many noble are called. Meaning, the real high value men may not have the best jobs. They might not have, the best car. They may not be the most spoken or educated within this world. Now, some of us may have nice cars. Some of us may be well spoken. Some of us ultimately, you can have, things of this world ultimately, but the bulk of us are going to be basically plain, which plain means you got everything you need. It doesn't mean you don't have anything to offer, but you're perfect in what you are. And that's the thing. Men are finding value in the spirit of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai over the value of this world, valuing ourselves by our earthly possessions, by how much money we got in our bank account. It's not that you as a man don't want, you don't want a cool situation for yourself, but ultimately that's not where your glory lies. Your glory lies in the wisdom you've received from on high. The glory lies in that we fear the Lord. See, the scriptures say real quick, the fear of the Lord is true wisdom, knowing what and what not to eat, because I guarantee you get the majority of these so-called high value men and you look at their diet, you look at some of the things that they allow and some of the things that they believe, it goes against the scriptures. Okay, they probably eat lobster, the swine. Who know? I'm not saying that that's true, but ultimately they don't have the full fear of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai. And that's the solution for our men and women, is you fear Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai. That's the beginning of wisdom. When you acknowledge your offense and repent, all right? But, they have their businesses. I understand they can't promote what we're pushing. This is our job, but we're just here to speak on it. Job 28:28. And unto man he said, behold, the fear of the Lord, that is wisdom, and to depart from evil is understanding. And this is what we're out preaching in a world where evil and wickedness was promoted as this great way of life. Now, The righteous man is standing in great boldness. In that, there's a message to the men and to the women and to the powers that be. Everybody gets it with this word going out. So if you feel corrected, well, hey, you did good. We've all been cut, still getting cut by this word. It's a two-edged sword. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom, Psalms 11 and 10. A good understanding have all they that do his commandments, his praise endure forever. So when you come back to the understanding of the way that Yahweh, through his son Yahweh Shai, and the righteous ways that were given unto us as a nation, all right, and what they're about, or you come into that and you put that on, and automatically your life starts to change. Now, we're still in imperfection. We're still in this flesh, you know, so we're going to fall. All right. But the fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge. That's where the true high value man is going to be, because what does the scripture say? Wisdom and knowledge real soon are going to be the stability of your times, man. Isaiah 32:6, and wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy times and strength of salvation. The fear of the Lord is his treasure. All right. So as you have this back and forth between men and women in the earth, ultimately prophecy is being fulfilled. And we're coming to the times where it's going to be what it's going to be. And if you're not down, it is what it is. That's what we, the men of the Lord, are waiting on. See, women still have a little bit of that grip that was, you know, that power that was given unto them by the serpent to, you know, sort of, you know, usurp that authority, or, you know, give you a little hard time for naturally being a man, you know, because here in this system, you can't fully be what you're programmed to be. So it's, you know, and it's a part of the curse. We deserve that. You know, we went off too. So that's a part of the hell, you know, being in a situation where a woman, that's the biggest problem. A woman trying to control you as a man. That is where the most of your fury and, you know, problems and issues come from. That one act, a woman trying to maintain you, as the scriptures say. But anyway, wisdom and knowledge are now the end thing. You see? Yeah, you know, the high value man, all right, it's cute, but the true high value men are the brothers who have this knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. That's going to be what keeps you stable. Not a good job, not a whole bunch of money, not the best sandalwood cologne. Okay, but wisdom and knowledge. And some of these brothers may wake up as shit gets crazier, but they're going to have to get in order. You see, there's coming a time where it's going to be our way or the highway under the spirit of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. You see, and you women are going to have to come correct. You're not going to come with all of these stipulations and a contract. All of that is over in the days to come. So we understand why you're so mad seeing us rise to what we're really supposed to be, because this glory you've been given in this Western society, this false, wicked way, is being attacked. And we understand. So going back here, the fear of the Lord is the true value. That's what makes you a man of high value. Fearing Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, all right, keeping the law, statutes, and commandments to the best of your ability, and standing in great boldness against wickedness, man. Because it's easy to just call out the women, but hey, we are set up to call out the whole system. You see, call out the whole system and the powers that be and tell them that they're going down. So that takes great boldness through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, and that's a threat to this world, because as we were reading here in Sirach 3:9, for the blessing of the father establishes the houses of children. And true manhood has been tore down here to the point where when we even speak on it, or the sight of it, it drives our people mad. That's how you know if Yahweh Shai was on the earth, the men and women of our nation would hate him, because he represented true manhood. You see? And that image was X'd out, but now you can see the spirit back upon the sons of God. So the blessing of the father establisheth the houses of children, but the curse of the mother rooteth out foundations. All right, putting the mother in the position to be the head. All right, binding the strong man. Now we have no foundation. Now the children are running rampant. Okay, through this system, the woman has been taken out of the house. Okay, and now both father and mother can be taxed, but now the children are raised by who? The state, which implants nothing but wickedness into them. Okay, so both man and woman have their fault, but we're here to tell you that the man being placed back in a position of authority is the only way in a union between man and woman. All right, family, as the scriptures say, we're going to have innumerable families, and it's going to be the best thing in the world. And see, a lot of you look at Isaiah 4:1, okay, as it says, a remnant prepared. How's the remnant going to be prepared? All right, through men and women. You see, as the scriptures say, women shall be saved in childbearing, right? So as we bring out, the fact that we're going to have multiple wives, yeah, of course, as a man, that's you. I mean, that's in us naturally. If you're looking at your man wondering, do he want to? Yes, we want more than one woman. Now, every man's situation is different. You know what I'm saying? It's not always wise. Hey, the scriptures say all things are lawful, but not all things are expedient, right? So it's not wise to go and, get all of these different women and try to use the scriptures as no, there's a time and place for everything, but men are men. And you've been taught that to be a man, to think like a man, you have to hide it. You have to, put it on the back burner. You have to lie about and hide and tiptoe around the world being who you really are. But 1 Timothy 2:15, notwithstanding, she shall be saved in childbearing if they continue in the faith and charity with holiness and sobriety. Okay, so when we bring out the fact that we're going to have multiple wives and we're going to have children in the kingdom of heaven, that's for the purpose of Yahweh Bashim Yahushua before all. That's his pleasure. Why? Because children, Psalms 127. We're going to be a large family in the kingdom of heaven. Psalms 127:3, lo, children are a heritage to the Lord, and the fruit of the womb is his reward. As arrows are in the hand of a mighty man, so are the children of youth. Happy is the man that hath his quiver full of them. They shall not be ashamed, but they shall speak with the enemies in the gate. Meaning they're going to be in a position of authority. See, in this society, we're so beat down. Okay, and at the forefront of why we're so beat down is our position. How we're viewed, what we have. We don't have a damn thing, but in the kingdom of heaven, we're going to have the world. So we're going to have thousands of children. All right. That's why the very next chapter says what? Psalms 128:3, thy wife shall be as a fruitful vine by the sides of thine house, thy children like olive plants, because the nation of Israel is likened unto an olive tree. Thy children like olive plants around thy table. All right, behold, all right, that thus shall the man be blessed that feareth the Lord. Yahweh shall bless thee out of Zion, and thou shalt see the good of Jerusalem all the days of thy life. Yea, thou shalt see thy children's children, all right, and peace upon Israel. So when we bringing out Isaiah 4:1, you all are thinking of Bishop Magic Don Juan, all right, pimps up, hoes down, Luke, all right, with all of the women pop that coochie. No. Isaiah 4:1, before anything, is for the purpose of the Heavenly Father's pleasure to expand us as a nation. You see? And in that day, all right, it says here in Isaiah 4:1, 7 women shall take hold, all right, of one man. All right, these women are going to take hold of high value men who are going to be the stability of thy time. All right. And when that happens, it won't be any talk. We're going to show you. We're going to show you, because a lot of you get mad at it. A lot of you are uncomfortable by it. Hey, this is the Lord's program. You think we're going to inherit this whole entire planet Earth? I mean, just look at your neighborhood alone. Just your neighborhood. What if the Lord gave you that? Said, this is your lot of land. You'd be happy as hell, but we're going to have the whole earth under Yahweh. Do you realize how vast this earth is? And we're going to be kings and priests. You really believe we're going to have one woman? No. That's not how it works, man. But see, the system of Edomite supremacy has you looking at that as, yeah. You know, just to see, we've been so beaten down that to even think that we're going to be in a position of authority and really be men and kings, it makes you mad. But that's all right. In the kingdom, that mindset and that mind frame won't even be anyway. But we have to deal with these questions, you know, and I'm all over the place, but, you know, I'm addressing those videos and kind of like, you know, the comment that was left on Elder Manata Zakba's page, you know, which I don't have to get it. I'm pretty sure you all saw it. You know, where you have men and women coming on. Well, you ain't gonna reproduce in the kingdom. Well, here it is. The heathen were able to reproduce, enjoy the earth in wickedness, but in righteousness, we're not going to be able to reproduce and enjoy the earth and have marriages and things like that. Now, I can't tell you how the reproduction is going to change, but we're going to have children. All right. And lots of them. So more women will be saved than men for the Lord's purpose. Isaiah 13:12, I will make a man more precious than fine gold, even a man of the golden wedge of Ophir. All right. Now, as you read up, what is that talking about? That's talking about during this hell that's coming. All right. And during this hell that's coming, wisdom and knowledge is going to be the stability of your time. So men will be, especially men of the Lord, will be in high value at that time. All right. Well, your job, you know, your car, you know, how good you look in the flesh, you know, none of that will matter. That's why the Lord said ultimately, I didn't finish reading in 1 Corinthians. It says, 1 Corinthians 1:26, for see your calling, brethren, how that not many wise men after the flesh, not many mighty, not many noble are called, but God have chose the foolish things of the world to confound the wise, and God have chosen the weak things of the world to confound the things which are mighty. You see? And see, like, there was a point where Noah's act was foolish to the world because he saw those secrets. He saw the future in a vision. So Noah at one point was looked at as foolish. But Noah was a high value man when that flood came. See that? Shem, Ham, and Japheth as well. They were high value men. Could you imagine how happy those women were? As a matter of fact, let's just look up that account. Yep. Now, it doesn't mention their wives' names, but you get Genesis 6:18. But with thee will I establish my covenant, speaking to Noah, and thou shalt come into the ark. So just as Noah, Shem, Ham, and Japheth, but it started with Noah, was at the forefront of repopulation of the earth. You know, look at it like that for us, the 144,000 and the rest of the women and children and things that are saved, men, women, and children that are saved for the purpose of reestablishing the nation of Israel in righteousness on the earth. So everyone that enters into that ark will be blessed, but it starts with the men. And they're going to be high value men. Even you men who aren't of the 144, you will be of high value in the days to come. The Lord puts the spirit, on you. You're going to win. All right. But I will establish my covenant. All right. And thou shalt come into the ark, thy sons and thy wife and thy sons' wives with thee. All right. Now, verse 7, chapter 7 and 7. And Noah went in, and his sons and his wife and his sons' wives with him into the ark because of the waters of the flood. Now, when you look up the story of the flood, who's remembered? Noah, Shem, Ham, and Japheth. Right here in verse 13, you see Noah, Shem, Ham, and Japheth. See that? That's Noah and his 3 sons, and the chosen came out of Shem, which means name. But you notice the names of the women weren't mentioned because these were the high value men of that time. Start with Noah, which means comfort. All right. Comfort that the name and that legacy will be forwarded in the earth, man. And through Shem eventually came, our facts at it, Abraham, Isaac and Jacob, man. So these were the high value men of that time. Okay. And what made them high value? What made Noah high value? His fear of the Lord. Okay. Verse 1. And the Lord said unto Noah, come thou and all thy house into the ark, for I have seen righteous before me in this generation. And hopefully we're of that same, the Lord looks at us that way amongst this wicked and corrupt generation. Hopefully the Lord sees in us righteousness. Give me 1 second here. All right. So hopefully the Lord looks at us that way. Now going back here, it's a lock here for being all over the place. That's just the way the Spirit is rolling today. Isaiah 13:11, and I will punish the world for their evil and the wicked for their iniquity. And that's what's happening now. Starting now. People, there's a lot of judgment going out. Esau's being addressed. Wicked behavior is being addressed. Men are being addressed and women are being addressed. And I will cause the arrogancy of the proud to cease. All right. And that's ultimately what happened through, the feminism. You women have become arrogant and proud. Even when you're pretty, you have a particular aura about you that is proud and it makes you ugly. All right. That's why the plain Jane women win. Plain women, pretty much, who are humble, who believe in God, but don't go to church, they're winning. And see, there's a group of women who are coming now. They don't have all of these, so-called standards of the world. You got to be this, you got to do that. They just want a good man. You see, they ain't worrying about, well, you got other women and all of that. Hey, these, and those are the women that's going to win. Because as we read here real quick, Isaiah 4:1, all right, it says, in that day, 7 women shall take hold of one man, just as we, as the nation of Israel, the men, we're taking hold of one philosophy. That's what the scriptures say, I've espoused you to one husband. So that is going to go with the women as well, just as we had to come in order under Yahushai, all right, to get back to the Father. You're going to have to come in order to your man, to one man. And what are they going to be saying in that day? We will eat our own bread. We will wear our own apparel. Only let us be called by thy name, which is you land with her to take away our reproach, showing you this is before the kingdom. Now, one guy said this is speaking of the kingdom. So what happens in the kingdom? If we're going to have one wife, what happens to these 7 women, which 7 means complete? And the kingdom of heaven is bigger than just multiple women. And the purpose of multiple women first is us becoming one of the greatest nations, or the greatest nation, Salakia. I don't know why I keep saying that. The greatest nation ever. All right. What does it say? 1 shall become 1,000. Right. Now, yes, it's for the pleasure of the man, but above all, 1,000. Let me see. Let's see. 1 shall become. Let me see. I know it's in Isaiah. Yep. Isaiah 60:22. A little one shall become 1,000, and a small one a strong nation. I, the Lord, will hasten it in his time. So this is the Lord's doing. And it says, verse 21, thy people also shall be all righteous. They shall inherit the land forever, the branch of my planting, the work of my hand, that I may be glorified. And how is he going to do that? Through putting man back in his rightful order. All right. And not only are we going to have a whole bunch of land, we're going to have a lot of women. We're going to have the whole earth. And you women are going to be as happy as you ever have been. You're going to be perfect. You're going to have the law, statutes, and commandments written in you. Even our concubines, once we get them, they're going to be happy. It's not going to be a thing that we get concubines to torture them. And no, it's not our culture. Sex slaves. No, we don't have sex slaves. Concubines are just lesser wives. Didn't David and Solomon have concubines? Then we get our kingdom, which those were preludes to the kingdom. We're not going to have concubines and wives. And the Israelite woman is going to be a top woman. No woman will be on your level. No woman will have access to what you have access to. Okay, you're going to be good, especially if you're a wife of one of the men of the Lord. You know, those who stood stiffly. Hey, we're going to be good. But the mindset of these women with all of the hell that's going to be going on, all of the evil and the wicked, the Lord said, I will make a man more precious than fine gold. Those women in that day will see that value in that man. And they're not going to come with, you got to take me out to eat. Because, you know, the women of this world, they come with rules and regulations. And this, you ain't going to do this. You going to talk to me every night. You going to call me every morning. You going to do this. You going to do that. And they've become self-centered through what? Being re-engineered through the serpent's propaganda, which is now becoming a curse unto them. See, they're going to say, we're going to eat our own bread. You ain't got to look. I got beans. I got a big bag of stuff we can eat. You know, you ain't going to be trying to check, you know, who you know, your phone. And see, in that time when this is happening, I don't know how the Lord is going to have this happen, when it's going to happen, but we know it's going to happen because it's written. Let's say you do have one that tries to rebel. Hey, an example will be made out of her ass. Hey, just as the men had to come in order under Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, okay, you women are going to have to come in order to Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, all right, in your men. Which these men are speaking of men of the Lord that have the true value. The true high value men are the men of the Lord. And as the days go, you'll see that. So they're going to say, we'll eat our own bread and wear our own apparel. You don't have to buy me a goddamn thing. Only let us be called by thy name. Just as we are with Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, we're out on the highways and the byways. We got with their program. We didn't come to this truth. And the people who did come into the truth with that, these are my stipulations. I ain't getting rebuked. I ain't going through this. That's too much for me. I didn't sign up for this. They're gone. They're unfruitful. They're not calling on names. They're not out there anymore. So they were, you know, they were kicked out of that position. You know, the Lord didn't need them. Get your ass up out of here. Well, hey, that power is going to be given unto us, man. So women in that day are going to seek high value men for the spirit that's in them so that their reproach can be taken away. And that's going to be a beautiful thing. Hey, the Lord is going to bring all people to their knees, man. You Israelites are going to have to get in order. And that's the beauty of it. And a woman is listening to this now mad with her face all screwed up. Hey, well, good luck to you. Hey, be mad. Don't leave no comment, though. Hey, because remember, hey, everybody's being watched. All of those scrunched up pages and, you know, trying to tell the man what we should teach. And hey, all of those days, hey, they're dwindling down, baby. And the serpent ain't going to be checking for you in that day. He gave you all of this authority and power, but he's fit to roll out on your ass. So men are coming back to their natural positions as leaders of the nation of Israel, man. And with that comes a great legacy. See? Hold up. Give me 1 second here. Yep. Isaiah 32. It says the glorious future. In 1, behold, a king shall reign in righteousness, and princes shall rule in judgment, and a man shall be as an hiding place from the wind. All right. It's windy as hell and you find a hiding place not to be swept away. You're going to be like, yes. And a covert from the tempest, you know, as rivers of water in a dry place. You in a dry place, you in a desert, you know, you thirsty as hell. You at your lab. You like, damn, I'm finna die. I can't, you know. You see a cactus, you try to cut it open and then you see a river of clean blue water. You'll be like, hell yes. That's how the women are going to look at the men of the Lord. As the shadow of a great rock, all right, in a weary land. You see, you as hot as hell and you find some shade. You're going to be like, whew. That's how the men of the Lord, that's how this word is being likened to going out in these times. All right. And I'm not here to, you know, appease to your emotions. We're not here for that. We're here to just tell you the truth of what the scriptures say. And we're all waking up. But with that comes a mindset. We have to change our minds. We have to separate ourselves from this serpent's BS. All right. And come back to the truth of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, man. But the reason you're seeing, you know, this influx of men, you know, the MGTOW, and it's because of this word has went out. And this word puts everybody in check. All right. As we say, we can go to various scriptures that go against men and women. But the bottom line is the winning team is Yahweh Bahashem Yahushua and the men of the Lord. And hey, you better get in order now, or hey, you're going to have to be humbled. And great humbling is coming. All right, to both the men and the women. Hey, what's that? In Micah 7. Everybody loves the scriptures until it makes them uncomfortable. Hey, we had to deal with the uncomfortable parts of this truth. We are out on the highways and the byways. We had to get checked and rebuked as men. There were different things we were doing. Mindsets we took from this world that we thought were manly. And we had to throw them away. Well, you women are going to have to do the same thing. Wholeheartedly, fully, very soon. Because you women who are with the men of the Lord, you like to take hold to these feminist ideologies and try to implant them in your marriage. And that's why it ain't working. That's why he's looking at you and things are fucked up. All right. But we understand that that's a part of it. You see, Micah 7:10. But going on down the line, there's going to come a point where he going to tell you, shut your ass up. And it's going to be so crazy that you coming up against him, hey, man, it could end badly for you through the spirit. So the best thing for you women to do is let us lead and let us be men. And being a man, all right, doesn't always mean that I'm just going to go out into the earth and just be looking for all of this random coochie. That's all you think when you think of men being men. We just go out into the earth sniffing ass. Now, naturally, hey, you know, the men, that's what we do. We conquer women. You know, but the men of the Lord, we understand that, you know, hey, we got to wait. You see what I'm saying? But the best thing for you women to do is chill your asses out now. Don't question me. Don't try to usurp authority, because it's only going to make me more mad than it ever did. Micah 7:10. All right. Now we have balance and we understand where we are. We understand, you know, we're not going to be lions in our households and, you know, but hey, man, hey, the time is here. You see what's happening in this world. Then she that is mine enemy shall see it, and shame shall cover her, which said unto me, where is the Lord thy God? See, mine eyes shall behold her. Now shall she be trodden down as the mire in the streets. So you thoughts, you Cardi B's, you women who've taken hold to this independent and I'm equal. Hey, there's gonna come a day where you're gonna lose. We're gonna lose. You're gonna lose, man. You see? You think you would have told King David what he could and couldn't do? Hey, remember a woman tried to tell him. And what did he do? He locked her up. Saul's daughter, I believe, 2 Samuel 5:13. And David took him more concubines and wives out of Jerusalem, after he was come from Hebron, where he was crowned king, and there were yet sons and daughters born to David. What in the hell do you think we gonna do if David did that and Solomon did that? Solomon did it on an even higher level, which it led to him sinning. But in the kingdom, we ain't gonna sin. You think Solomon had all of that substance, all of that for one woman? No, baby. That's not how it works. Everything is going to be returned to its natural order. And when it's all said and done, all of us will be happy. All right. But I just wanted to, go into a few things. As the scriptures say, many years shall you be troubled, you careless women. Hey, the vintage is failing, man. The vintage is failing, and we all got to get in order. So with that, hopefully y'all edified. Shalom. To the next.